Tony Stark, aka the Iron Man, arguably the world's most popular superhero in the past 10 years or so. So what happens if we write a fictional business person a sales email, and what kind of salespeople learn from it? Am I a genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist? Absolutely not. Keep watching to find out more. What's going on, sales family? It's Fairhead from Sales Unveiled once again, helping slash through got 3 this week. All the misconceptions around sales and giving you all the practical advice you need in your day-to-day careers in sales. I know what you're thinking, guys. How is talking about a fictional Marvel superhero with questionable facial hair, which come from this guy, going to improve our ability as salespeople? For a lot of us who've been working in sales for a lot longer than we'd like to admit, we completely understand how daunting it can be for newbies. As such, it can actually be pretty difficult to explain for newbies what exactly a good sales email looks like, with even some of the most best-selling books on the marketplace not really going into too much detail about this. So what better way to learn then by going into a little bit more detail around arguably the world's most popular billionaire superhero. Sorry, Bruce. In the video today then, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about exactly what it is that I would do to write a fictional business figure like Tony Stark an outbound sales email from beginning to end. You're also going to want to stick around to the end of the video, guys, where I'll have a bonus for yourself, so be sure to stay tuned to that. Let's jump into it. Now, before we actually write the email, we need to lay the groundwork a little bit more, just to go into a bit more detail about what exactly it is that we're going to do. First of all, we're going to be talking about Tony Stark in the MCU and the MCU alone. Sorry, comics readers. We're also only going to find out the information that we would be able to find out publicly. So quoting things like "I love you 3000," as sad as it is, we won't be able to use because, you know, he said that to his daughter, and last time I checked, that's not us, right? We're also, spoiler alert, going to assume that Tony Stark is still alive and well. We're going to send this email in between Infinity War and Endgame, and also assume that he's still the CEO and main director there at Stark Industries. You're also probably wondering what the hell it is that I'm going to sell to Tony Stark. Well, it's very important then that we sell a product that will directly catch his attention, that also is in line with his mission. So his public mission, as he stated a few times actually, is to put a suit of armor around the world. So it's going to have to be something a little bit more philanthropic than, let's just say, a HR system or a payroll system or a brand new IT system. I mean, he's Tony Stark, he can pretty much create one of those from scratch, right? Now, the sales email is very much going to follow on the structure that I usually follow in my outbound sales emails. I'll link to my video, I want to say around about here or something. All of those sales emails follow 5 main things, which are the subject line, the opening line, the so what, the proposition, and the close. So we'll jump into each of those sections and talk about exactly what it is I would write for those. Let's jump into that. The subject line. So this is going to be very simple, and we're going to stick to genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Now, whilst Tony Stark hasn't actually publicly stated this to reporters or to any external people outside of the Avengers, he has said it in the movie, so we'll definitely reference that. It should definitely catch his attention. And most importantly, this subject line is only 4 words long. Some studies have actually shown having a subject line longer than 4 words is actually going to be less likely to be open. So you want to keep your subject lines as short as possible. So that will definitely grab his attention, and I'm really happy with that. The opening line. So any good opening line of any email has to do a couple of things. It's got to be relevant, it's got to be personal, and it's got to be eye-catching. I mean, think about the sales emails that you receive on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure if we opened an email to Tony Stark like,
"Hi, my name is Fairhead and I work for Sales Unveiled. I want to sell you a product."
Obviously, it's not going to go down very well. So we need to do something a little bit different. The more personal the opening line, then the much more better it's likely to be received. So what we know about Tony Stark is that he's a narcissist, he loves the free press, and he loves when he gets one over on people. So what better than to reference a notorious interview that he gave with Christine Everhart. "Tony, just saw your interview with Christine Everhart. Blown away by Stark Industries' focus, pivoting one of the world's largest companies away from the world of weapons. The fact that you've successfully privatized world peace definitely makes companies like ours want to step up and do the same." This opening line then is short, to the point, and notice how we don't talk about anything relating to product. The so what. So now that we have Tony Stark's interest, we need to get his attention even further and get him to continue reading on the rest of the email. Now, this is arguably the most difficult part of any sales email, so we really need to double down on our research if we want a response from a fictional character, that is. The best way then that I found to do this is by asking yourself, why them and why now? Why would they be interested in hearing more about us, and why is it important for them to act on this email right now? Now, for this, we could go with something like the Battle of New York, but I think a better option actually is go with a worldwide global phenomenon like the blip, which will definitely get his attention. For my so what then, I would write something like this. With the blip affecting every corner of the planet and Stark Industries' focus on Intellecrops, I know taking the fight to famine must be high on your priority list. Now, if we remember all the way back to that interview with Christine Everhart, right at the beginning of Iron Man 1, Tony talks about the Intellecrops project that he's been working on, so this is definitely going to get his attention, with I'm sure all of the chaos that's been brought about through the blip. The proposition. So if you ignore whatever the heck that was, the proposition is actually the area in your sales email where you'd actually introduce exactly who you are and the problem that you can help solve, as well as adding some client name drop to really help build your authenticity. Now, we could reference Hammer Tech, but I don't think that would go down very well in this particular sales email. But if we reference Stark's competitors, which are likely to be, Pym Technologies, for example, Oscorp Industries, seeing as though Spider-Man's now part of the MCU, that might actually fare quite well. I'd write something like this. Not sure how familiar you are with Fairhead Gas Incorporated, but we help support Oscrop and Pymtech with their water irrigation plans for their Intellecrops, reducing the need for waste that comes with traditional farming in developing countries. This then helps address one of the main problem areas that Stark Industries, I'm sure, will be looking to focus on over the next couple of years. There's nothing like half the world blipping out of existence to help further add to a crisis. The close. So the close is the section of the email where we get Tony Stark to actually do what we want him to do on the back of this email. Now, a lot of people get very, very complicated with all these kinds of things, but realistically speaking, just think of that one particular action that you want your prospect to take. It's very, very simple. So something like this would work best for Tony Stark. Tony, love to see if this is going to be a focus for you over the next few months. Would you be free for a quick 3-minute call to discuss? Best, Fairhead. You could also say something like, Tony, what would be the best way of hearing your thoughts? But seeing as though Tony Stark is the director of a multinational corporation, probably best to be a bit more direct with him to ask exactly what it is you want him to do with your information. So there you have it, guys. That's exactly what I would do if I were to write Tony Stark an email. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, hang on, Fairhead, that seems a little bit short for a sales email. But realistically speaking, guys, if you are writing paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs in a first sales email, you're doing something a little bit wrong there, because you don't want to overburden your prospects with a lot of information in the first instance. I mean, how would you feel, for example, if you walked into a mobile phone shop with someone just throwing information at you without giving you the chance to actually learn about what it is that you're interested in? You'd probably run a mile, right? Bonus time! No idea why I just did that. As a treat for sticking around to the end of the video, what I'm going to do today is in the description not only link to my inbound and outbound sales email templates, but I'm also going to link the exact email that I've written for Tony Stark in the description down below. So feel free to copy it, paste it, and amend it, obviously, for your own individual prospects. Now, if you're interested, please do leave a comment down below and let me know if you'd want me to write another sales email to another fictional character. I mean, I'm not sure who comes to mind.
I need a sales email.
Also, if you're interested in some additional sales training tips and advice, or just want to get an understanding of what it's like to work in sales, please do consider subscribing. There's new videos out every single Monday covering the world of sales, and I'm super excited for some of the ones that we've got coming up. Until the next one, I'll leave it with you guys. Have a good one. Bye.